Hi there, it's Claire here. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk about emotions today, and this is a huge topic and possibly something for a series of videos, so keep an eye out. You may hear more on this. As always, I'm interested to hear your feedback and comments and your experience. The thing is with our emotions that they can arise at inopportune times, and often things can come up when we when we don't expect them, but B, in ways that we don't expect as well. We've all seen the person with road rage, and I'm sure we've all experienced really strong emotions at times, and there can be a tendency to judge and shame ourselves for our emotions. I know in the past I've sort of thought, oh, I shouldn't feel this, I should feel this, I should feel that, and I shouldn't think this, I should think that, and we can be incredibly hard on ourselves. And the reality is that emotions aren't good or bad, they're not right or wrong, they just are. And they're really a guide for us. They're really they have a message to bring to us. Usually they're asking us to take some kind of action. And I think historically in our culture, we've been taught to, suppress our emotions and to sort of, push them down, pretend we don't feel them. And the reality is that to deny our emotions is to deny our experience and ourselves. So it's not about getting rid of emotions, but it's really about A, befriending them, and B, processing them in a healthy way. And so I want to teach you a little tool today that I find really, really helpful. And the invitation is for you to try it and give me your feedback. So the first thing that I try to do when I have an emotion come up, a strong emotion, any emotion, but let's talk about the kind of strong, overpowering ones today, is I will notice it. So, and rather than, because words are really, really powerful. So we might say, for example, I'm angry. And what we try to do in meditation and mindfulness is just create a little bit of distance between ourselves and the emotion. So that emotion is moving through us, but it's not who I am. So I might say to myself, oh, there's some anger present, or there's some sadness present, or there's some joy present. And then I sense into it. So rather than trying to push it away, I notice it and I sense it. So what does it feel like? Where do I feel it in my body? I try to give it some space for that emotion to move through me, and I will acknowledge it. So I notice it and I acknowledge it. I feel it, I say thank you to it, and I ask if there's any action it wants me to take. And if I find that, let's say for an example, I'm in work and I have someone says something and I get irritated and I get angry, and it might have triggered something old in me, and I suddenly feel really, really angry and I have to go to a meeting and I need to kind of do something because I don't want to walk into a meeting feeling furious with something that's completely unrelated. So what we can do in situations like that is A, the noticing, the acknowledging, the thanking. So really allowing it to be, rather than pushing it down, rather than criticizing ourselves. And what I like to do is I like to say to the emotion, I see you, I feel you, thank you for coming to my attention. Right now, I cannot process this. Right now, I need to go into this meeting. Right now, my attention needs to be elsewhere. So I'm going to give you some time later and we'll dive into this a little bit more. And then I might make an appointment with myself later on in the day. And I might sit for 5 minutes in meditation and allow that emotion and the associated sensations to come up and to sit with those, because that's all it wants to do. It wants to be felt, it wants to be acknowledged. And when we push away, when we ignore, it doesn't really help. There's a great saying, I can't remember where it comes from, but what we resist persists. So allowing this to move through is really, really helpful. So there's the noticing, the N, the acknowledgement, and, you know, feeling into it, asking it what it wants, and the processing. And if you can't process it there and then, make a time with yourself, make a commitment with yourself to process it later in the day. So that little acronym to help you remember is NAP. And no, it's not about taking a nap, although that's an option too. So the invitation is for you to try it and to notice, if you do try this exercise, notice if you have a different experience in using this little tool to pushing the emotion away and pretending that it doesn't exist. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love your feedback. You can leave some comments in the comments box below. And always, if you have any questions, do please get in touch. And if there's something you'd like to dive deeper into as well, I'm all ears. Please reach out and let me know. And I would love to produce a video on it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that exercise with you. Thanks for being with me today, and best of luck.